We okay? Yay. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Greg Lindhorst. I'm kind of be emceeing today. I'm delighted to have three great vendor speakers to present you with testimonials, case studies, tools, frameworks, ways of moving into the Power Platform and using it. So I'm going to keep my remarks fairly brief and give most of the time to these three gentlemen who will take you through those great pieces of work. Digital transformation. Seems like we've been doing this forever, but I was literally at my eye doctor a couple weeks ago, and he pulls out the big folder of all this paper about me. I think he's one of the last doctors I have that still runs on paper. Even the medical industry, even with all their legal and privacy directives, has been able to move into the digital world because it's more efficient, it's better sharing across doctors. There's all these other reasons why a digital transformation makes sense. And like I say, it's not like we just came up with this. We've been doing this for a long time. Even before that end of the scale, we were using client-server systems and Visual Basic to build systems out where people could interact through terminals and store information digitally, which made it much more readily available. It's an evolution that's kept going, and as time has gone on, we've moved from offerings that were on-prem into infrastructure, into platforms, and now we're into low-code, software as a service kind of offerings. And it's an evolution that will continue. For us, this means that we have three main offerings around analyzing data with Power BI, acting on data, entering information and causing actions to occur using PowerApps, and automation through Microsoft Flow. I want to call out that subtitle at the top the most. For us, it's all about empowering everyone. As part of this journey, we found that using professional developers is great, but they don't always know everything about the business. They're not the business experts. It's much better, it's faster to market, and you get a better product if you can empower people to understand the business to do this work themselves, to stitch these things together and build solutions. And so we're all about, that's what the low-code platform is all about, is empowering those folks to accomplish that. It does create a bit of a conundrum that we hear all the time. You know, I hear you, that's great, love to go there, but I've got all this InfoPath, I've got all this access, I've got all this notes, I've got all these other systems that have information that's really important, and I've got processes and people trained on those platforms and those tools. How do we move them forward without abandoning everything all the investment that we already have? And the solution really is to go slow. You've got this huge pool of applications and solutions already in place, to prioritize that, to pick off the ones and twosies that you can move into a Power App solution or another solution using these technologies. The data may need to move into CDS or to SQL, and Power Apps is really good about getting your data wherever it happens to be. We have connectors to over hundreds of different back-end data services, so you don't have to necessarily move the data. You can start innovating with front ends that augment what you currently have in place. And as you get that experience, as more and more apps get built, you start progressing. You start adopting the platform more and more, and you can start abandoning the older ways that you've done things. What it gets you is right off the top, it gets you total cost of ownership typically goes down. Lots of studies have been done about this approach versus the older on-prem approach using client software. It is ultimately going to be a lower cost of ownership after you get over the initial hump of doing the investment. It gets you benefits immediately. All those older systems didn't understand mobile, didn't necessarily have anything for the web, weren't cloud accessible. So people had to be logging into VPNs to get behind firewalls. All of that goes away. You get all those benefits, and then all the benefits that are to come. Power AI, all the different services that Azure introduces on a running basis, those all become available to you that you can use in your applications. And there's a cost to not doing this. The longer you put it off, the more these technologies get older, the more that the experts that know about them, that know how they work, depart, go somewhere else, do something else. And your competition is moving forward without you. So it's tempting to sit back and wait. And to that point, I've created this InfoPath cheat sheet about modernization. And the top item is, it's going away. On a stage like this, back in 2013, I was one of the people that announced that we're killing off InfoPath. And we are. It is dead. No one is working on it. It is only getting security updates at this point. The official line is by 2026, it'll be deprecated as part of our traditional 10-year support cycle. But that is a dead end. And a lot of people have already moved onto their technologies, and that's great. A lot of other people have not yet. They're going to stick with InfoPath until the bitter end. There's a cost to doing that. Let me get into InfoPath specifically. There are 3 primary scenarios that people use InfoPath for. First is building a custom form on top of a SharePoint list. PowerApps can replace that. SharePoint app as a web part, as a part of a SharePoint page, and PowerApps can replace that. And then finally, workflow initiator. Using the SharePoint designer, using the older workflow engine, you could build a form that you'd fill out, you'd submit it, and the workflow would get started up. That can be replaced by Flow, which can also ask those same kind of questions to initiate a workflow with parameters. Now, there's one area where InfoPath, we do not have a replacement for InfoPath, and that's the nature of InfoPath. It was built around XML, around editing and interacting with XML documents. It's unstructured data. Most of what we do is on relational tabular data. There's a table of information. Every row is consistent. It's all the same, with some exceptions. The hierarchical data that InfoPath could work with is not something that we have a good answer for replacing. Options there are Adobe PDF and other forms that are not as consistent. But for the first 3, we do have a great answer. The data can stay wherever it is. Working with SharePoint is fine. Leaving the data in SharePoint is fine. We are also building up the Common Data Service. You'll hear me talk about that a lot. You'll hear everybody here from Microsoft talking about the Common Data Service. It is just getting off the ground. It needs work for sure, but it is where we are putting all of our investment into creating a business data platform. And you'll see more and more facilities, more and more capabilities grow out of it over time. We introduced offline for model-driven apps just this past year. We'll be expanding that. Its integration with workflows is really strong, getting stronger. So that's the reason we talk about CDS so much, is that that's where our investment lies. So this is an example of a form over a SharePoint list where you can customize it in SharePoint. It pops out to PowerApps. You build the form there. And then from that point forward, anytime you open up a SharePoint list and look at an item in a list, this form will come up instead. And it's great. It's got rich forms, honestly richer than you could do with InfoPath. It has Z-ordered, blended, overlapping, control. You can even do animations with timers on top of that form, all with low code by writing formulas in the Canvas app. It also has great data integration. It can get to all the thousands or hundreds of connectors that we have that can talk to all these different systems beyond the SharePoint list. And it can be used even with on-prem SharePoint installations. And there's a whole bunch of features coming on the way. Some of the very common asks are around being able to get guest access to the form, custom controls. We introduced the PowerApps control framework a little earlier this year for model-driven apps as a preview. It'll be coming out for Canvas apps over the course of the next year. So you'll be able to build your own JavaScript controls and put them into Canvas apps, which means they can be put here as well. Document libraries. And then the SharePoint team is doing work to take these customizations and move them with the application, with the SharePoint list or the SharePoint site when you're doing deployments for ALM. An example of a standalone app in a SharePoint page as a web part. Instead of being attached to a list item, now you can take any SharePoint page, open up the web part editor, put the web part in, and connect it to a Power App in the background. And so that gives you islands of Canvas apps within the SharePoint infrastructure. And then finally, Flow can replace what we used to do with an initiator so that you could collect the parameters to start off a workflow and then start off a flow. And that's all built into Flow. You don't even need PowerApps for that at all. PowerApps and Flow work really well together as well. So if you want to have a Power App come up and initiate a flow, you can do that as well. And then the Access version of this. The Access story is a little different. Access is not going away. We have tons of users on Access. And it has a bunch of great facilities. But this is an example of you've got something that's stable and you could use for a very long time further. It has queries and forms and all the stuff that Access offers. But it is not being modernized. We made an attempt to modernize Access with Access Web Apps, and we pulled the plug on that last year. Instead, PowerApps is the way forward for web, for mobile, for offline, for all the other capabilities that you get with a Power App. It also offers governance, which is probably the biggest complaint we hear about Access, where a company will have tens of thousands of Access databases strewn throughout their organization. They don't even know what's in those things. There's just pockets of data that they have no control over how it gets distributed and managed. With PowerApps and putting that stuff in a central location, either SharePoint, SQL, or CDS, you have much more control over the data. Something that Access, as an Access database, won't be there for you. Now, there are two options. Because Access is staying around, you can build a PowerApp that's a companion to the Access database. You don't have to outright replace the Access database. And this is a way to move it forward. Access has been working with SQL Server in a very deep way for a long time. Moving the data out of a desktop database into SQL and then using Access with that, and at the same time using a PowerApp with it, is a very easy thing to do. A great stepping stone to getting that data in a place where it can be shared with other applications. The other choices that are there are going with SharePoint lists, and there's wizards built into Access to move that data there, as well as CDS. And Access has the ability to connect to CDS. It doesn't call it CDS in Access, the product. It calls it Dynamics because CDS and Dynamics are effectively the same thing. But it's the same connection. It's the same ability to use PowerApps and Access at the same time against the same backend. But that last set of bullet points is the key. Using an Access database as a desktop database where the data is on the desktop that's shared through file shares, that's got to end. That's the root of all evil with respect to governance and ability to modernize that application. That data needs to be moved to somewhere that's more modern. And fortunately, we have a bunch of great choices for doing that. And as you feel comfortable with that, as you have these companions to Access, you can get to the point where you can start to use more and more PowerApps, Canvas apps, model-driven apps. Model-driven apps are a great way to quickly build up a form on top of a backend database. And that's the way forward for Access. OK, I'm going to stop talking. I'll let these guys talk more about all the stuff I kind of talked about and give you examples of how this stuff has been done. So with that, I'll have our first speaker, Martin Sanjuomo. We'll be talking from the Swiss Railway.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to my presentation. I would like to introduce you to the journey we took to migrate all our forms from the on-prem SharePoint and from the on-prem intranet actually to the cloud. A brief introduction to our company. Greg said Swiss Federal Railways. We are operating most of the railway services within Switzerland. A few numbers, what defines our company, you can see on the slide here. We are 100% owned by the Swiss government. We have 32,300 employees, and the languages spoken within the SBB are German, French, and Italian. That's important for my next part. I will not go into the challenges we are facing, since you can read them when you download the presentation. About myself, I'm an IT guy. I'm with SBB for more than 4 years. I started with PowerApps in March 2018, and I'm in IT since 2009. So I'm not a developer, I have to point out. I'm a system engineer. Talking a bit about the project for migration, so to give you a little bit of background, last year in 2018, we decided to roll out Office 365 to licenses to all our employees. So all our employees have Office 365 licenses. And therefore, we also moved like mailboxes and SharePoint site collection and stuff like that. We moved to the cloud. We wanted to move that. And a big part of that move to get rid of the on-prem SharePoint was to move our intranet. Our intranet was one of the biggest applications on the on-prem SharePoint, actually. This intranet had about 300 forms included, built with the Matchpoint framework. The challenges we had here, so you can see an example of a Matchpoint form, or of two of those Matchpoint forms. They looked exactly like that. The challenges we were facing migrating those 300 forms were mainly time, because we communicated a hard shutdown date to the on-prem SharePoint. We want to have our apps in 3 languages, so not having 3 apps. We want one app or one form where we can switch the language. We wanted not only to move all those 300 forms to the cloud, we wanted to also do some consolidation work on it. So really challenge the business. Do you need that form? Is it correct to have that form? Stuff like that. And the big request we had from the business side was to send mails with attachments. The Matchpoint solution was not able to do that. Let me give some examples of forms we had and we migrated. For example, this overtime reporting app or overtime reporting form. It used to be a form like you saw on the previous slide. It's actually a form that is used when a train is running late. The train crew does automatically overtime, for example. They stop their work late, for example. And they want to get paid for that work. So they want to report quickly, hey, I did some overtime, and send that across. And we had that form in the intranet, but 90% of our train crew is mobile. So it does not make sense to have that desktop form. So we created that form for them, that app, actually. And you can see it's quite heavily used. It's used by more than 2,200 users, and it's even more used than 4,500 times since January. This number is already outdated. So just to give you an example of what we created out of this old form you saw. Another example is, I said we wanted to consolidate. This is now it gets tricky for me, the ticket vending machine issue reporting app. So, so if a customer encounters an issue with a ticket vending machine, for example, it prints out black tickets, can happen, or it doesn't give change or not enough change, he will be very unhappy and run to a counter and report that. And that's what this app is used for. So the clerk at the counter will take that issue from the customer, fill out that form. Before we had that app, actually, there used to be 7 forms. So you can imagine they sometimes had to browse through the forms and, it's the wrong one, just choose another one. We said one app, one link, go there. We consolidated those forms and just put it a drop-down menu there. You can see below. So things got really easier with that. So if the clerk selects the issue the customer is encountering in the drop-down, we only show the fields where he has to fill out and nothing more. The app provides some guidance what he has to do. For example, refund the customer directly or report the issue to someone or to the customer care center. Yeah, that's what we did to consolidate forms, make one app out of 7 forms. On top of that, because with the old form, there was another thing going on. Every time a customer reported something and the form was filled out, it was actually printed out, signed by the customer, stored in a folder at the station, and by the end of the month, someone crawled to all that paper to report to the accounting department what was refunded at that station. We said we can do that better. We just put it a Power BI report over that SharePoint list where the data gets stored. And now the accounting department and everyone at the station can simply go to that report, put in a time span, and select his station, and he will get the answer right away instead of crawling through paper and stuff like that. So that was a big improvement for stations all over Switzerland. Let's talk a bit about the architecture. So we have PowerApps as a front end. We have flows, which send out emails and do some other stuff. We use SharePoint online lists as the data storage. And we use, on some lists, we use Power BI reports. I would like to point out that the mails are not only sent to group mailboxes or people, they are also sent, for example, to the HR CRM system, and it automatically creates a task in the CRM system. We didn't have a connector, so we built something using mail. Maybe we can do that better, but it's working pretty well. So to give you an idea about what what was the journey we took on a timeline to migrate those 300 forms. In July 2018, we started with 300 forms, 1 engineer, 1 PM, the PM project manager. It was basically me. In October, we scaled up our team up to 8 engineers and 1 project manager. And in January, we had migrated 220 forms and made 165 apps out of it. So we consolidated, we even got rid of some forms, and that's the outcome of the project. In May, we already had more than 180 apps in production since the apps were seen on the intranet. People got interested and said, well, I could also use such an app. Can you build one for me? Sure, we can. We just copied the app or did whatever they liked. The process we established, so we did migrate that manually. That's why we had such a good crew at the start with 8 engineers in October. But what I would like to point out here is we named an owner for every form. So every form got the business owner. And with that business owner, we challenged then, do we need the form? Can we enhance the form? And, or can we even do the form in another way? Can we merge some forms together, stuff like that? The business owner also had to ensure that, that he can pay us, ensure financing, and we did an estimation when we will be finished with the migration of that form. We took an architectural decision on some we were able to do with forms, but not much. Most of them we did with PowerApps, and some very, very less of them we did with SharePoint framework solution. Then the form owner had to accept what we suggested to do. We realized that, and we then get the form owner in charge again to test that and to actually take over the form. So he's responsible for his form. On that slide, I will show some business processes, business units we supported. I would not like to point out a special one, but just to give you an idea. So business impact, we had 165 apps in production. We did that on time and within budget. We leveraged our Office 365 investment, since already everyone had a license, right? The business units which wanted to gain a value and which wanted to enhance their forms during the migration, they really got a value out of it. And last but not least, we covered all the requirements business had. The learnings, I would also like to share the learnings. So my learnings are really challenge the business. Show them what you can do with Power Platform. Not only talk about, but show them. And then they get on board, and they get ideas, and they come up with some cool stuff. So then onboard them, take them into the process, and go ahead. Check the limitations. We all know there are some limitations regarding Flow and PowerApps, but check them before you start with the project. You will be good. I think they, sorry. Yeah, I think that you can work around them if you need to. Yeah. Good. Good? Thanks. Yeah. Start with a plan. So think about how you want to set up your environment. Does it make sense to have different environments? You want to put all that stuff in one environment. This is what we did not good. We put it all in one environment. We shouldn't have done that. So we have to redo that. Make use of the Microsoft support, and also think about the SharePoint online dependencies. That's what we encouraged, or what we saw when SharePoint has an issue. Also, your app might have an issue. Thanks a lot for. Yeah, if someone has a question, just. How
do you manage the SharePoint online security? Like the lists are out there. You need to have
permissions. For every list. So for every site collection, we created an admin group. So there can be a site collection admin. And then for every list, we created an admin group, a user group, and I think, a reader group. So for every list, we created three groups, and then we set the visibility of the elements to only the creator of the element can see that, or the one who has full control over the list.
But they need edit rights to that list, right, to submit a form?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
Even if they directly land on the list, they'll be able to modify the data then?
They will be able to modify the data, but only the data they submitted. But Flow will not trigger any action, so it's kind of useless to modify that data. Because we have Flow behind the SharePoint list, and the Flow is doing the action. So only if you modify the data, nothing happens. We just say when a new item is created.
Repeat the question.
Sorry?
Repeat the question.
Ah.
I have a quick question on when you moved from on-prem to the cloud, was there any security constraints, or did you go through a life cycle of, is this data okay to be hosted in cloud versus on-premise?
Oh, yeah.
Change management like?
So the question was if we had any security checkpoints passed before we moved our data from on-prem to the cloud. Yes, there was a big involvement since we are a public sector customer, and the data is laying not within Switzerland, it's laying within European Union even. So we had to check with with our how to say legal department and the legal department of the government and stuff like that. So there was a big, also GDPR helped us a lot on that, right? So we could then also show to the business, hey, we're meeting all those GDPR requirements, and they are known as very strict, I would say. Yeah.
One more.
First of all, absolutely fantastic, by the way. It's really great to see this. I'm curious, so away from the functionality and more with the user interface and experience, what was your learnings around there that really jumped out to you? Because we're quite intuitive with our phone applications and how to use them. When you're designing yourself, what would you say your biggest sort of lessons learned there?
So the question was the biggest lessons learned on the front end design, on the power. So that is a good question. We learned a lot, actually. That's why. So to be honest, when we started the project, we didn't have the availability of responsive apps, right? So we started to really think about, should we do it mobile or should we do it in tablet format for desktop users? So probably that was the biggest learning, that when you today start with an app, do it simply responsive. So all the forms we do right now, we do responsive. Also a big learning, because we have 3 languages, was check on the size of your fields, for example. So a sentence in French can be much longer than a sentence in German. So the field should adapt automatically to the size of the text. That was our biggest learning. Yeah.
Okay, we gotta go.
We can answer questions afterwards.
Yeah, after the session, we'll be happy to answer as many questions as you have. But we gotta keep rolling here. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Next up is a name I can actually pronounce, Andrew Welch. He's going to be talking to us about adoption frameworks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me, right? I talk really loudly, so I probably don't even need the microphone. But thanks for coming. I'm super excited to be talking with all of you. Actually, I've done a lot of talking lately about the Power Platform Adoption Framework, but this is sort of the big reveal in a way. So we have a white paper that's going to be coming out tomorrow. You can go to this site, this page down here at the bottom. You can go there now, enter your email address, and then I will personally email you that white paper tomorrow or Wednesday or sometime this week. Or you can just go tomorrow and it'll be available for download. So I'm Andrew Welch. I'm the practice manager for business applications and automation at a company called Applied Information Sciences, AIS. I come from a Dynamics background, so I've been working with this technology since CRM 2011, and I try to be really engaged with the community all around the world. So just got back from spending 20 days in Europe, even though I theoretically keep my things in DC. But in any case, so hopefully I'll get to run into you at an upcoming thing, or let's talk afterwards or whatever. But otherwise, you can get me on email there, follow me on Twitter. I'm a big nerd, so I tweet about this stuff all the time, or connect with me on LinkedIn, and then certainly go grab that Power Platform adoption framework. And there's something that I really want to read here. This is an excerpt from the introduction to the framework, and I think it kind of sets the tone for what we're trying to do here. So we've studied and learned from our friends, partners, and colleagues around the world. We've also built on our own long history with Power Platform's predecessor technologies. We're sharing our Power Platform adoption framework so that everyone can use it, because we believe that a vibrant and thriving community around this technology is good for everyone who uses it. So please go grab it, use it, put it to work in your organization, and I'd love to hear how it's working out for you. So a couple just really quick use cases. We heard sort of an expanded use case a moment ago, but I'm going to talk through a few just really kind of abbreviated use cases of things that my team is doing at AIS to help folks move from their legacy applications, whether it's Access or InfoPath or SharePoint, or something that's even outside of the Microsoft stack, onto Power Platform. So one organization that we're working with, and these are sort of scrubbed so I don't give away any names, but one organization we're working with is an international hotel business, and they actually had a pretty ingenious Access database that they had built, right? That, so to kind of backtrack for a moment, this hotel, and a lot of hotel companies, they don't actually own all of those hotels, right? So they're franchised hotels, they have the name of the hotel on them, but a lot of these hotels share services. So whether it's, a maintenance staff that serves all of the hotels under that one brand in New York, or whether it's that every morning they get 500 bottles of shampoo delivered to their door, right? These are shared services. So they had built an Access database that actually tracks and then allocates the cost of those shared services right there within Access. So we've been working with them to migrate that data model into the common data service, into CDS, and then build PowerApps on top of that data model, so that their users, whether they're kind of back office and accounting, or whether they're actually in the business of managing the subscriptions to these shared services, so that their users can allocate and share those costs across the business. That's a Canvas app. So if you're familiar with that, it's actually the most complex Canvas app I have ever seen. So we're really proud of that one. We're also working with a Fortune 100 insurance firm. They're adopting the Power Platform across their entire organization. I think that's an accurate number, 50,000 employees worldwide. I looked it up on Wikipedia, so I hope so. But in any case, what they're doing and what we're doing with them first is building Power Apps, again, in the Common Data Service, in CDS, so that they can manage the process of making changes to their insurance products, and also to bring new products to market. So as you might imagine, when you're working, just say, across the United States, you've got 50 states, or 54 states maybe, depending on how you count it, and those insurance product changes need to be approved by the regulatory body in whichever state you're deploying, but you're releasing that product into. So this is a pretty significant Power App built on CDS that's going to manage that product change and that new product process. We're also working with the US government, with the Department of Defense, we're streamlining their personnel recruiting for a specific organization within the Department of Defense, how they recruit and onboard people into the organization, and then also have built some pretty complex data models using Power BI to visualize maintenance data across the organization. And then finally, a global consumer products company to use a combination of Power BI model-driven apps and Canvas apps to suck in a lot of data across all of their sales and all of their brands in all of the countries where they do business, to visualize that data in Power BI, and then to build action plans and strategic plans and do tracking of action items right there within Power Apps embedded alongside of that Power BI dashboard. So when we talk about the adoption framework, and I remember when I first started talking about this, someone asked me, they said, well, why would you need an adoption framework for a no-code, low-code tool set? I didn't mean to kind of pause there, but I'll just let you ponder that for a moment, right? So if you right? Exactly. So if you remember years ago when SharePoint was a new thing, what happened when we didn't have any governance around SharePoint? Everyone just spun up SharePoint, and who knew where it was and how it was working, right? So as these more and more organizations, they're using Power Platform to bring their shadow IT out of the shadows. They're using Power Platform to build these really amazing solutions using PowerApps, Power BI Flow, the Common Data Service, and Dynamics, because yes, Dynamics is a really big Power App now. And we've seen this today. So I mentioned a few of those use cases, but it's not just AIS. Bye, friends. Man, you sit in the front row, and no, I still love you. Bye. But there's people around the world who are using Power Platform to do all of these things to improve the passenger experience in airports, to make government more responsive, to micro-target their customers, to build their consulting business, and in the case of Virgin Atlantic, even to give massages. So if you go into a Virgin Atlantic lounge in an airport, you can kind of sign in at the kiosk there, and you can sign up for a massage right there using Power Apps. But mature organizations are realizing that rigor and discipline and best practices in their approach are needed if they're really going to do this at scale. And scale is what's really important here, right? So the Power Platform Adoption Framework is designed to, one, help people get to value quickly so that they can start to see the results of these apps being rolled out just within a few weeks. To educate, train, and grow the community of citizen developers. To create durable partnerships between IT and the business, which is so important. A lot of times we see Power Platform being owned by IT. Sometimes we see it being owned by the business units. But creating those really durable partnerships is so important. To continuously improve ROI on the platform. So this is sort of an interesting thing, right? If your experience is in Azure, the more you consume, the more you pay, right? But with Power Platform, the more you consume, the cheaper it becomes, because you've migrated all of these apps onto the platform. So you're basically taking your license cost and dividing it by the number of apps, the number of workloads you're running on the platform. And that's really how you can drive a lot of the ROI, a lot of the financials around this. And then finally, to blend agile, rapid app development with rigorous and disciplined enterprise management. One of the things that I tell people all the time is that yes, in fact, Power Platform can be used and should be used to build real serious, meaty, enterprise-grade applications. And we're doing that today, and I know a lot of other folks are doing that today as well. So in short, the Power Platform Adoption Framework is a start-to-finish approach for adopting the technology at scale. And if you go grab that white paper, I talk a little bit about why scale is so important. But if you are from a large organization or you work with a large organization, you already know that it's so important to be able to implement something like this in a scaled way. So as we think about what this looks like, Power Platform adoption, here's the snapshot, right? So when you start to roll Power Platform out within that large organization, we start with a discovery phase or a quick start, right? And part of the objective here is to walk away from this thing with an actual working prototype of that first workload. So in times past, the discovery phase was all about documentation, right? Like that was what we did in discovery. Now we can actually sit down with our end users or stand up at a whiteboard with them, design this app, build it quickly, so that within 1 to 2 months, I generally think that 6 weeks is about kind of the sweet spot. Folks are actually walking away with a prototype of this first enterprise-grade application that they can run in their environment. And the advice that I give people when they think about, well, what should that prototype be? What should the first workload be? Is to pick something that is meaningful enough, that's impactful enough and important enough so that it is actually meaningful to folks within the organization, but don't pick something that's so mission critical that it's going to terrify people to be migrating onto a new platform. So pick something important so people can see the benefit of it, but don't pick something so mission critical so that you don't kind of have to deal with that fear that people have sometimes about going to a new platform. We also, I also recommend that you stage app-in-a-day training for folks during this time. It is never too early to start onboarding your future citizen developers, right? So get them into a room, offer that app-in-a-day training, invite all your friends, make that happen. Also stakeholder work groups, so this is more of kind of a classic discovery phase type of activity, but it's getting together with IT, with the business to help identify candidate workloads to migrate onto the platform, help them prioritize those things. If you have an investment already in Dynamics 365, you want to put some thought into how that Dynamics 365 investment is going to play with what you're trying to do in Power Platform. And then finally, what we're trying to do here is create a project plan and a budget for each of the tracks that follow within the Power Platform adoption framework, right? So you want to kind of do some assessment, you want to do some analysis up front so you can figure out kind of how long is this going to take, what do we need to do, and more importantly, what is it going to cost for the business to be able to start going down this path. When I talk about tracks, I'm talking about, so track 1 is the app build. It's the design and build of these new workloads. It's the actual building of the things, whether it's apps, dashboards, automations in Flow, what have you. This is where citizen developers and IT, maybe you're working with a partner, this is where they're all getting together and actually building the things. Track 2 is the roadmap. So that's going out into the organization and identifying these candidate workloads. Sometimes it's a one-to-one match with an existing Access database or an existing InfoPath library. But oftentimes it's actually kind of a bundle of processes, a bundle of business activities. So that's why I call those workloads. So you're going out, you're identifying those with the business, and you're helping the business to prioritize those so you can really feed track 1, that app build. And then finally, track 3 is enterprise management. So that's how do we deploy this, how do we govern it, how do we manage it at an enterprise level, how do we set up our environments on our deployment pipeline. That's what enterprise management is really all about. So if you look at this another way, this is really what we're talking about, right? So you begin with that discovery, probably only happens once. Then you move into this cycle where you're managing the platform at an enterprise level, and you're road mapping new workloads to come onto the platform, and you're building out those workloads and ultimately transitioning those workloads out of the app build track and into whatever O&M, whatever operations and maintenance looks like here within your organization. So that's Power Platform Adoption Framework. I know we're time limited. I do want to have just a couple minutes for questions. I will also say that see me afterwards if you would like one of these stickers, all right? Power Platform AF. It's all about the adoption framework, clearly. But see me afterwards. I'm happy to give you one. I have a whole book full of them right here. But otherwise, look me up on Twitter, and let's get talking about this. So with that, I'll take questions. Nothing. All right. You see? You please. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that, I mean, obviously Office 365 and Power Platform really go hand in hand with one another, and I think increasingly you actually can't really have one without the other, and you certainly can't get the most out of either unless they're really married to one another. So yeah, you know, if I were personally going into an organization or working with an organization that was new to this and didn't have Office 365 set up, I would say, yeah, we need to take this as a two-pronged approach. We got to get you to Office 365, and we got to get you to Power Platform, because at the end of the day, Power Platform is how you automate and build these app experiences inside of Office 365.
Okay, let's move on. Thank you very much. Happy to take more questions after we're done.
Water bottle.
And there's your water bottle.
Thanks.
All right, our last presenter. Oh, there's more. You weren't done, Andrew. You left me with a build slide.
I did, but I wanted to take some questions, so you got to work through it.
I'm doing it. I'm getting there. Something to look forward to.
Wants to take a picture of this. There you go.
How an idea becomes an app. It's like how a bill becomes a law.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very similar.
Yep. That's actually what the title of the slide used to be, was how a bill becomes a law.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Moving on. Our last speaker is Dave Chenault, who's going to take us through some tooling that called I2P, which helps move InfoPath assets into the Power Platform. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do a demo without a net. So I just have a couple slides, then it gets to be extremely exciting. And if I do well, applaud. If I do bad, just let me sneak out the door. Okay, so I'm going to go through 4 slides really quickly. We have a framework that the tool conforms to. And the way that we're going to talk about this today is this is when you have to migrate those or modernize your InfoPath forms into something else. We will support either CDS or SharePoint today. So the first step is going to be an inventory, and you're going to go through and find out what you have. Then you're going to create a new set of lists or entities to hold all that data, and you're going to want to apply permissions to that. We handle that as well. You're going to want to map the schema, if you have XML data, into this new structured repository. You're going to export the data from the XML files into CSV files to clean it up, and then you're going to import that into your new target. Does anybody in the room have complex InfoPath forms that stores the data in XML? Is there just, okay, can I see them high? So the people in the room that see this will be extremely happy. The rest of you guys will be like, whatever. But they will be very happy. So before we begin, there's really two flavors of these that we're going to talk about, and the one we're going to concentrate is below. With InfoPath, a lot of people used it with structured SharePoint lists behind it. Pretty simple. They just replace the form. But the ones that are tricky is if you have repeating sections and signatures, and those are XML files. They are not so easy, and our tool handles that. There are other tools probably coming on the market, but I'm going to show you our tool today. And this is what it's like. The problem you're going to be solving with this tool is that every form is a file. And by that I mean every time a user fills out a form, it's an XML file. And I'll show you what one of those looks like. It looks like that. So every single form is just data in basically a Word file. And you know that PowerPoint wants to have data in structured lists or entities. So the trick is, how do I get Word to Excel, basically, right? Columns, rows. How am I going to make that file into a list that PowerApps can use? That's the trick, right? So our tool does this, and I'll show you what this looks like now. I'm going to switch over. I'll put on my glasses, and we are going to go for it. I'm going to try and do it for you right now. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to start up our tool, and I'm going to run an inventory of a site that has a bunch of forms in it. And I'll connect to it. And what you'll see is it'll come up and it'll ask me a question or two about, do I want to do the forms or the ones that are simple lists? And do I want to do a quick or a full? I'm going to do a full scan. While it's doing this, I'll tell you a story about a customer of ours. So right now it's querying through the SharePoint site. This is a site, and it's finding all the forms in it, and it's telling you where they are, how many there are, how complex it is, when was the last time one of them was modified, who created it, and when did they last modify the template. The tool does this for you, okay? We have a customer that migrated a form. It had grown over about 4 years. Started off as a simple InfoPath, but it just kept becoming this Frankenstein. Just kept growing, growing. It's like hideous. And they were like, we have got to get rid of this thing. We're going to go to PowerApps. So we work with them with this tool. I can't tell you their name, I'd have to kill you, but that became 10 lists in SharePoint because they had so many repeating sections in it. But the tool handles that, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. We're just about finished. But what you're seeing here is that we're getting a collection of all the different forms in this site, and it's going to tell you what they are. You can download this report as a CSV file, and now you can make a plan. You can say, there are many companies we're working with that have no idea what they have. They're like, we don't even know what we have. Now you can get a good inventory like this, download it, and decide what you want to migrate or not. Let's look at this real quickly. So, whoops, if I come over here, what I'm going to see is that I have how many there are of each of these forms, what the type is, when was the last time someone used it. The complexity is right now based upon the number of fields that it has, and also if there's code behind it. So if it has code behind compiled code, that's complex. You're going to have to get Reflector to go in there and decompile that code, okay? So now we say, okay, I'm good. I'm going to pick a form that I want to play with. I'm going to call this one Petty Cache. And the Petty Cache form looks like this in InfoPath. Let me open one up. This is what the Power App looks like after we've migrated it. And this is what it looks like when it's in InfoPath. Okay? And I have good news and bad news. So I'll tell you all the good news, then I'll tell you still have work to do. So there's your InfoPath form, okay? And then this is going to be our PowerApps form that once it's migrated. Okay, so going back into our deck over here, let me just pop over. I'll tell you the good news, bad news right now. Let's see if it'll pop over. The good news is we'll do 1 through 5, but we can't do the form. I mean, How do we know it's your form? How you laid it out? You're still going to have to build the form. So we can modernize all the data, move it over to CDS for you, get it out of the XML, create your new list, but you still got to make the form. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the next step in this real quick, and I'm going to pick a data, and I want to do the schema mapping, so I've gone to the next step. And what I've done is I've just picked up an InfoPath template. I just simply picked it up, and I open it up. And that's what I did. I have it built here. You can see all the fields that are inside that InfoPath form. And you notice here these groups. These groups are going to be repeating sections. They need to become lists or entities in a new structure. So it's going to take all this data that looks like this. Let me show you how it looks. There's a map behind every InfoPath form that looks like this. It's XSD. We grab that and we can map this for you, okay? And the data, remember, looks like this. This is the map. We can take this map, and now you can take this and map it into new SharePoint lists or CDS entities, and you can pick your data types. You can also move all of the data over with the security in SharePoint. So now I've got my schema. I'm going to go ahead and open up one that I already made because I did some changes to it. I've got a couple of tables here that I create. See this petty cache GL? Because I've got to convert those repeating sections into lists. I've got to do this. Okay, so I'm going to go for it now. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new set of lists in a target site. So I'm going to pick my target site, which happens to be sitting right here. It's called Monday Session. And this is just a SharePoint site that I set up with nothing in it. And I'm going to connect. This is very brave of me. And I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to just give that parent a name, Migrating Cache. And now I'm going to create it. Now we wave the rubber chicken 3 times clockwise in a full moon. And what's going to happen is during that time, we're going to go out now and create all of these lists in the new SharePoint site. We're going to do that for you. So we now have the buckets. And as soon as it's done, we'll take a look at the buckets. So it finished. And if I go here to the buckets and look at it, if I go here to this list, the site, and I look at the contents, you can see that I have those new lists created. And if I go take a look at them, I'll just use my classic SharePoint. I like those. And if I open one of these guys up, like I'll look at migrated petty cache, I can go in and see that actual structure behind it. If I wanted to look at this, I can go into the list settings and see it. And you'll see all those fields that we specified in the map, they're all here. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And we can also migrate all of the security over. Now we want to export the data. I'm doing good on time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the data from the site that we want to get it from, and I'm going to create CSV files so we can now export this data. So if I come over here and I grab the petty cache, and I could do it with the security as well. I can pick up the item level security. We'll do that as well for you when we migrate it in for you. And I could also do a custom query if I wanted to. You could do a camel query here for the nerds in the audience, or you can just do it in the number of a batch. Like I'm going to do the first 100 based on the ID. We recommend that you migrate in batches, because if you do 10,000 records at once and you get to 9,900 and it blows up, you got to start over. So we would say do it in batches. It's just CSV files. And we'll go ahead and do this. It's going to ask me where I want to put it. So I'm going to put it here in this Monday data set, and I'll save it. And again, this is all live without a net. So what it's going to do now is it's going to go into that source, and it's going to export the data. It's cracking open each of those XML files that I showed you in the beginning. It's extracting the data out based on the mapping that we created, and it's creating CSV files for you to import this into your target. So it finished, and let's take a quick look at it. So if I take a look here at the data that it created, I'll come over here to I2P Express, App Summit. Whoops, I think it's here. I thought it was here. Sorry. This is a live demo, so bear with me. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. So if I look at my data, I can see my data is listed here. So now what I want to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to import my data. So I've got my data, I'm going to pick the target that I want it to go in. And remember that I made that target, it's called Monday. This is my target where I want it to be put into. And I'm going to put it in here. Now, before I do that, I do want to do some data cleanup. So I want to grab that data that I created. And I'm going to take a look at that data and just take a look and see what it looks like. So I'm going to say all files. And this is the file I just created. And what it's showing me here as well is there's some forms that it was not able to find the schema for, but that's OK. Let's go take a look over here at the data. And you can see the data. This is important for you guys to see. Some of this data is not particularly clean. Like if I look over here at this total disbursement, right now it's OK. I've got zeros in here. Sometimes they'll be junk. Sometimes they won't. But right now I'm in pretty good shape. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm just going to exit out. Now, the last thing I want to do is I'm going to try and import that data. So here's my target. I'm going to connect. And I'm going to grab the list that I want to get it from and the title field. And it's going to be, in this case, it's called file name 1. And I'm going to import my data. And I'm going to grab that data that I created. And then it should import the data in if everything goes well. This is a live demo, and it is. It's putting it in now. So what I've done is I've transformed the XML data, and I've exported it out so I can clean it up in Excel. And then I've gone now and grabbed that data, and I'm importing it into my new site, and now I can make my Power App. Now I've gotten my data from the XML that it was in to a form that I can use with Power App, or I could do this with CDS as well. Could be SharePoint, could be CDS. So we'll let it finish, and I'll take one last look at that. And with that, I'll have about 3 minutes left for all of us to answer questions. So it's just about done. And if I take a look real quick at the site, let's just take a look at it. We'll refresh it here. And if I go to my Monday session, you can see that I've got data coming in, and it's all the migrated stuff. So I have data coming in, and now I can make my form. Okay? So I'm just going to stop there because we just have about 3 minutes left. I think that'll leave time for a few questions. And thank you very much. It worked. There we go. Thank you.
Any questions for Dave?
How do you handle attachments?
So we actually do handle attachments. We stick them in a separate folder. I'll repeat the question. The question was, how do you handle attachments? So we do extract the attachments. We put them in a folder. And then we map the ID so that when we do the integration and back, we have the attachments go into the parent file that they were with. It's not a problem. We can do one or many. No issue at all.
So, but SharePoint with PowerApps has a limitation of just having one attachment.
No, it does not. You can handle money.
Now, you can have multiple files.
Wait, with one on that, but then you make a doc library. Just put it into a doc library.
But doc library doesn't have any attachment control with PowerApps.
So again, remember that these are separate files, right? So we can absolutely make a doc library and map them into that doc library, and we have the ID with it. So we actually do handle it, though. We handle multiple attachments, no problem. Let's take it offline afterwards. We do handle it.
Perfect.
No problem. Any other questions?
Do you support adding it to the site columns, not just list columns?
You want to make new site columns after, and then,
Like if the data model was common and you were
right.
using it across multiple apps,
Yeah.
the metadata was common.
I don't know that we do today, but I don't think it's an issue. If that's a requirement, let me know. We definitely, it's just a type. We could take care of that for you. Yeah.
Is there a limit to the size of the attachment?
Do you know the size attachment on a?
I don't know the limit off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's big. I can't tell you how big, but if it was in SharePoint, it's going to go into SharePoint. If it was in CDS, no problem. So it should be fine. Yeah. I don't know the exact number.
Big is the number.
Yeah, but I mean, if it was in SharePoint to start with, so it shouldn't have a problem going over, or CDS. It was there.
I have up on the screen some resources for you to use to get more information. There'll obviously be the deck and the video, or not video, but audio of this, I guess. And please also fill out your evaluations. If you have any other questions, please come up after the talk. All four of us would be happy to answer anything you might have to ask.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
And there's resources. Yes, thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.